Hey guys, how's it going? It's been some time since I've been on here. Been pretty busy here lately, but it's time for another arena review where we go over all the games that I played last month. Now, I will say I haven't done this since April, so it's all the games that I've played the last 2 months or month and a half or so. Um, Been very, very busy with the end of the school year, with some other hobby stuff that we've been doing. So, just been kind of taking it easy on the live streams. But now that I'm on summer break, I'll be doing this a lot more frequently and hopefully some day streams. We'll see how that goes. But that is not what this stream is about. Hey, Ken, thanks for being here. This stream is about all the games that I've played on Board Game Arena. Uh, Played a decent amount of new ones this month. Excuse me. So we'll talk about those a little bit more in depth. Of course, I had my classics on there. The ones that I'm always playing. Yeah, Ken, I know you're always here if you can. We appreciate it for sure. Um, but yeah, so got all my games on here, the ones that I normally play, a couple of new ones on there. And I'm going to put this here, maybe out of the way a little bit. I don't know. Well, I guess this is fine. Um, I've just got all my stuff over here. But let's kind of look to see what numbers I've got for April 14th until June 1st on Board Game Arena. So I have a total of 63 plays during that time, 31 players, um, H index, which is just how many times you've played the games, or something similar to that. It's a little bit more. It's your how many times you've played each game. Or I've played two games two times. That's what it means. Um, I don't play a ton of games back to back on here, or at least two times. Total of 23 different games. Um, and then it says about 54 hours, but it doesn't really keep track of the time. Let's see. I played with, like I said, 31 different players. And I think the most I played with was Ian. I had 11 games with Ian. I had 6 with Michael, 6 with Jeff, and then 3 with Mike from Brothers Murph, 3 with Anth Grant, and then it kind of goes down from there. The AI, I had 14 because I do keep track of my solo plays on there. And then, of course, me on there as well. So that is all the different players that I've had. Uh, and then, of course, it's all on Board Game Arena. So no other locations than that. So let's go ahead and switch over here to this other screen. We can kind of talk about what games I've been playing. Let me get it here. It's been a while since I've done this, so everything's a little bit uh, out of sync. Okay, so this is Board Game Arena. And Board Game Arena is just a digital platform that has a whole bunch of different board games on there for you to play digitally. They've been growing a ton within the last couple months. A lot of new games you'll find on here, like this Lord of the Rings, Fate of the Fellowship. I have not played it yet, but when we were at BGG Spring a couple weeks ago, tons of people had played it there in person, absolutely loved it. So it is the new Pandemic System game by Matt Leacock, just with a Lord of the Rings reskin on it. So, if you like Lord of the Rings, probably a good game for you to pick. Me, who knows nothing about Lord of the Rings, except for Lord of the Rings Duel is amazing. I'll give it a shot. I'm sure Devin will want to play it at some point. So that's one that I'm sure I'll play at some point. So here on this website, they've just got a whole bunch of different stuff on here. You can click on them and then just play them. You can search for them. You can be friends with people and whatever you want just to kind of get some games played. Yes, Ken, it's like Pandemic. It is the Pandemic system, so it's the same style of game. He's also done one for Star Wars, I believe. So I know you have an account. Just try it out sometime. I wonder if they have a solo on here. So let's see. It's a launch of Lord of the Rings, Fate of Fellowship, rich cooperative strategy game. Matt Lealock. Yeah, it says 1 to 5 players. So there you go. You could give it a try here on your own, Ken, or maybe we can play it together one day. I know our schedules are a little bit hard like that, but that's okay. Before I get any further, I am going to do a board game arena night this month. It's most likely going to be next week, so I'll post that up on our Discord with the time and all of that. If you're not part of our Discord, I've gone ahead and dropped that link in the chat. Go ahead and join us there, and we can set up some games on Board Game Arena, talk with some people that are similar mindset, and just have a good time hanging out. So let's get into my games here that I actually played, and we're going to do this in order of most played to least played games. Hey, John, how's it going? Appreciate you being here. All right, so we're going to start off with my most played games here, and this should come to no surprise to anybody. This is the White Castle. I've come to realize this is, I mean, I say this every time, but this is definitely a top 3 game for me. I absolutely love this one. I've been playing it a lot solo, and one, I guess, difference about this one now is I've been playing with the I've been playing on the medium solo. So I started playing this on the easy one quite a bit, and so that was both the AI and you start one space off of this heron track. I believe it goes first. No, it goes second on the easy, and then it starts with no points. And now the medium AI, it starts off here on the heron track. I believe it has 3 points, and it actually goes first. So with me playing now against the medium AI, let's see. I have a total winning percentage. I've played 14 games of this one against the AI, and I've got a 50% win rate. And it looks like my average score is right in the 60s against the medium AI. So I've been real happy with that. It's one that I haven't gotten to the table in a while, just because, again, May was a crazy month. But it's definitely one that I'm going to get to the table again, and I'm going to go ahead and start keeping it at that medium difficulty, just because playing it here digitally, I've been able to do fairly well with it. But just to kind of explain the game a little bit, you have all these dice here on these bridges. You're going to be drafting them. The lower numbers are on the left side. The higher numbers are on the right side. If you're drawing the left one, you're activating some types of bonuses that you are building underneath your player boards here. So you have this little tableau that you're building out. You're going to be gathering resources to go to 1 of 3 different places in this board. So you have the gardens over here, which needs food. You have the mother of pearl here, which is going to be the inside of the castle. And then you have the training grounds up here. And then, of course, at the end of the game, you'll just be scoring them different ways. The whole gimmick to the game is there's only 9 turns, but you have so many different combos that you can work in there that you should be having more than just those 9 physical turns on your thing. You should be able to get 2 or 3 additional actions on each one of your turns, I guess. So it's been really good. I've really been enjoying it. Yeah, this is definitely just a top tier game for me. And like I said, I've been playing it a lot solo, so now I know that I can be 50% competitive. You know, that's my win rate right now against it on that medium, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, that's the White Castle. Up next, we've got Super Mega Lucky Box. I don't know what it was. I got into a kick on this one. this last month in May. I think mainly because it is very just don't think about stuff and just cross stuff out. That it was just a easy game to play. I actually did quite a few games solo on here as well. And it's just to beat your own high score. There's a little reference down here at the bottom that tells you how well you do based on what score you get. I was never able to get above 59 on any of my solo plays. So I wasn't super mega unlucky. I was just kind of in that lucky range. But what you're doing in the game is it plays through 4 rounds, and you are starting off with a couple of these bingo-esque boards. And then whenever a card flips over, you're just going to cross it out somewhere on your board. If you complete a row or a column, you get whatever bonus is below or next to that row or column. You have these little lightning bolt symbols that are your mitigation. So you can up or down numbers. So like that person, they just use a lightning bolt in order to use that 7. They could use a lightning bolt for this 4 to cross out this one, and then this would be completed. Depending on what round you're in is how much each of these little cards will score. So if you complete one in the first round, it's 15 points. Second round, they're 12 points, so on and so forth. You can gather stars. It's kind of like a set collection thing. You can gather these moons, which is whoever has the most gets 6 points. Whoever has the least loses 6 points at the end of the game. And then you just total up your score. Hey, Dennis, thanks for being here. So again, it's a very mindless game. There's got to be some type of strategy to it, but it's not a game that I'm going to put in too much strategy because, I thought I was doing pretty decent in where I'm picking my numbers and stuff, but I wasn't really able to break this 59. So I'm sure there's people that can consistently get up here, but I don't know. Again, it's not one that I'm going to think too much about. I'm just going to kind of go in, cross out numbers, move on to the next row. And sometimes that's all I need. I just need a pointless game that is going to do that for me. So, Super Mega Lucky Box. I played 8 games of this one. And of those 8, I wonder if I can see how many were solo. Most of them were solo. 87% of it was solo. So, I don't know what that is in the math, but probably 6 or 7 of them were multiplayer. 1 or 2 of them were multiplayer, and then 6 or 7 were just me soloing it. So, Super Mega Lucky Box. I played this one in person. I thought it was okay. Devin and Joe absolutely hated it, so it is not one that I would ever have in my collection or probably play in person again, unless I had other people around me, which I generally don't. But yeah, that's the game. It's fine. I will play it anytime on Board Game Arena, because again, it is pretty pointless. Pretty mindless, should I say. Not pointless, mindless. Up next, we have Stone Spine Architects. I'll go ahead and say, the more I play this game, the more I like it. This is a really fun one that I don't think it really got, pushed under the table much. Or it didn't get as... I don't think it got as much hype as it should have, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I really like this one. I think it's good. It's a game set in the Cartographer's universe and the Lockup universe. It's a Thunderworks game where you are dungeon designer apprentices, and you're trying to design these dungeons based on these blueprints that you have here, and some other end game goals that you might have. So in this game specifically, you want to have the most slimes in your dungeon. You want to have the card in this position have a positive or negative reputation. You want this card to be a mountain type landscape. This person didn't do that. And then, just kind of going down. So on your turn, you're going to draft a card, and then you're going to play it somewhere on that row. You play through 4 different... Is it 4? Yeah, you play through 4 different rounds, and you'll place them anywhere on there. At the end of the round, you'll count how many coins you have. Whoever has the most coins will be able to go to the market first and buying these different items that they can place in their dungeon. So, for example, this person here, if they did not have this reputation on this card, but they have one up in the market, they could buy it from the market, put it on here, and then that would complete its blueprint. If you are trying to do this challenge, right, you need these kobolds. You might want to come here and buy this kobold to put it in a specific column, because then it gives you more points. Where this one is gain 4 reputation for each chamber with 4 elements in your dungeon. So this one is missing one. You would buy something, put it there, and get more that way. So yeah, at the end of every round, you're going to get a new challenge. You're going to be trying to complete these goals, and you're trying to gain priority by how much money you have, and when you're wanting to pass and stuff like that. So you also want to connect the entrance to the exit. You don't have to, but it does give you a lot more points if you do that. You could just have a dungeon that does not connect at all. I don't see that working, but you could do that. So yeah, that is a Stone Spine Architects. I really enjoy it. It's just a card drafting, simultaneous play kind of game that I think deserves a little bit more love. And I have actually got it over here. I'll probably pull it out and do some solo plays of it at some point because I really like it. I had 2 plays of this game, and let's see, 5 different players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Ian, Michael, and then 2 other players as well. So that's Stone Spine Architects. Really good game. Really enjoy it. All right, let's see what's next. I exited out of there. Go back. For the most part here, the rest of the games have 2 plays, and then we'll go down to the ones that have 1, or I'll let you know when we get to the ones that have 1 play. Played some Forest Shuffle. There was some time where I was playing this one quite a bit. I believe we did this one once for our game night. And yeah, this one's fun. You are building out tableaus where you are planting trees. And then on these trees, you can fill them out with things above them, like butterflies, birds. I think that's it. Butterflies and birds. There might be something else on there. Or you're going to put stuff underneath them, like other little plants, like these stinging nettles, like this fungi, maybe some type of insect that goes under there, or this newt, just things that go underneath it. And then you're going to put stuff out to the left and to the right, possibly like this beech marten, possibly like this capercaillie. I don't know what that is. You could do some type of bears, whatever it is, leopards. I don't know. I don't know if those cards are in here. But every single one of these cards has some type of scoring thing that it needs to meet. So, for example, this one, you get 5 points per fully occupied tree. So this tree is now fully occupied. This is worth 5 points. The butterflies are set collection. So if he puts butterflies in these trees, right now, if he had a butterfly in each of those, he would have 6 points. This one allows him to draw a card whenever he plays a card on top of a tree. This one is 3 victory points for every hoof symbol that's on there, right? So whatever cards you're drafting, you're trying to see how they score points, and you're trying to play cards that match that there. Now, unfortunately, this person just played the exact same butterfly there, so that does not count towards a set because it's supposed to be different butterflies. and I'm sure he's hating himself for that. I believe this is the expansion. This card doesn't look familiar to me. But you can do these extra kind of bonus abilities here. So it says whenever you play a card with a butterfly, you draw a card if you discard that kind of symbol. So it's a pretty cool game. Haven't played it in person. I feel like the upkeep would be not a lot, but more than what I would want it to be, because you have to keep this market kind of rotating and flipping cards out there. You have to keep track of what is being scored. So all that can get a bit tedious if you have a big tableau with a lot of different scoring opportunities. But overall, I think this is a great game to play digitally. It plays really fast. And yeah, it's for a shuffle. All right, up next we have Parks, 2nd edition. Parks holds a special place in my heart for me in gaming terms, because this is one of the first games that I actually got into my collection. It's one of the first games that my wife really enjoyed and would play with me kind of at any time. So I really, really enjoyed Parks. Honestly, the original artwork I think is just beautiful. So when I heard about the 2nd edition, my initial thought was just like that there's going to be no difference. It's just going to be different artwork. Why do we need it, kind of thing. But in all honesty, they did do a couple changes, and I actually just want to check something real quick to see if this is a change or if this was just the expansion. Camping mode. So in Parks 1st edition, you have the Nightfall expansion, which allows you to camp on spaces and allows you to get other kind of actions that go along with it. And I'm not sure if that is included in the 2nd edition or if this is the expansion. Because it says camping mode, it doesn't say the expansion. So I'm not 100% sure on that. But here in Parks, what you're doing is you are starting here on the trailhead, depending on how many players you have. No, you'll always have both hikers. You will be moving down this trailhead, landing on space and doing the action that's on there, mainly gaining some type of resource. It could be buying gear, which is up here, which allows you to get other things whenever you go to these spaces. This is the campgrounds as well that they're playing with, I believe. This is the camping board, but I don't see any of their tents. So they might not be playing with that module on here. But one of the biggest things that they added was their canteen. And so now you have this actual canteen over here. And when you land on this space, you're going to gather tokens and you're going to add them onto your water bottle. And then once you get water, once you place it in your canteen, you will trigger both of those tokens and gain whatever resource you have. So I really like that addition to the game. They also have this passion project card that can give you 2 different options on how you want to play the game. It's like a asymmetric player power that only you kind of have. So this one gets 1 victory point for every park that you visited with a lightning bolt on it, or you can roll the die when you're visiting a park with a lightning bolt. So you get to kind of choose which ones you want. Other than that, it really is kind of the base game. I do enjoy the artwork on this new one. I think it actually looks really, really good. This is actually one of my favorite cards. I'm glad that it's up here right now. But yeah, a little bit of a facelift, a couple more mechanics thrown in. I would say it's probably a good mixture of the expansions in the base game. If I didn't have Parks in my collection already, I would definitely add this one to it. But since I've already got it, I'm good with what I have. Just play this one digitally. So that is a Parks second edition. All right. Up next, we have Harmonies. I'm actually in a game of Harmonies right now. I'll just show you guys that one. Um, yeah, Harmonies is a game that I've played quite a bit. I've talked about it quite a bit on the channel, so not going to do too much talking about it. But on this turn, you are collecting tokens. So I just click 3 tokens, and then you're trying to make these patterns here. So first one that I'm going to do is I'm going to try to complete this pattern, and I'm going to do that by putting this right there. And then that completes that pattern. So we will put this right here. And once you complete it, you put the little cube on there, and then that shows that it's completed. And then we're actually going to draft this one. We're going to put these 2 reds here. And we are going to try to make this pattern here. So hopefully on my next turn I get a little green one, and I can place it on top of my tree stump or whatever it is there. So we'll go ahead and end my turn. And then that's Harmonies. You score a bunch of different ways. So you score based on how many of these you have fulfilled. And then you score on the different landscapes. So like you have your mountain spaces, you score for water and the contiguous waters that you have. You score for like the height of the trees and stuff like that, whatever levels they may be. So a bunch of different ways to score there. But at the end, you just total everything up. The game ends whenever somebody's completely out of space. And yeah, whenever that happens, total everything up. Whoever has the most points wins. All right, let's go to Diced Veggies. Diced Veggies. This one's really interesting because when I first saw this game, I did not think it would be a good game whatsoever. But the more I play it, the more I actually enjoy it. I think this is I don't want to say a great game, but it's a good filler game. And so on this game, you are making recipes with all of these dice. Uh, and so each color is a different type of ingredient. So you've got your orange is your carrots, your red is your tomatoes, your beige is mushrooms, you've got pink onions, green jalapenos, and I believe that's it. So on your turn, what you're doing is you are cutting these dice and collecting the ingredients to then spend them for these recipes. Now, whenever you cut the dice, you can only cut up to a value of 10, and you can only cut on the outer sides of the square or rectangle whenever you have that. So, for example, here, I could get both of these dice because they total up to 10, this red and this beige. I cannot get this red, this tomato, this onion, and this other tomato, even though it totals up to 10 as well, because this one is connected to it, and I can't just leave it by itself. So you can't break up the adjacency of any of these dice. This pink here, you're just going to have to draft it on its own because you cannot go this way with 12. So once you have your dice, you can then spend them to do these recipes. You also have these hype cards, and the hype cards are things like use all the same numbered dice, or use a 3, 4, and a 5 in your recipe, or only draft 1 dice this turn in order to complete the recipe. Have no dice left over after you've completed this recipe. So it's all sorts of different kind of things that are going to give you more victory points. They're not necessary. Well, I say they're not necessary. You should be getting them to get more victory points. But, you don't have to get them. You can just do a bunch of recipes. Probably won't win, but it's one way to play. And then whenever somebody has completed it's either 5 or 6. I don't remember off the top of my head. Recipes. You go through one more round, and then whoever has the most victory points wins the game. You have a chef token, which is your mitigation in the game, which allows you to change an ingredient to something else. So you can change the color of a die or change the pip value of a die. And then you get your chef token back once I think it's called bench, once the bench clears and you get a new set of ingredients out there. So, yeah, again, I'm surprised how good the game is, uh, based on how simple um, it really seems. So overall, it's a good one. I think it's a good game. Keep on playing that one. All right, I played some Welcome to the Moon, and I played it solo, uh, mainly because I was just trying to see how to play the game. Um, I read the rules very briefly, but I just kind of wanted to see how the game flow of it was. So I only played it solo, and this is not the map that I played, so we're going to go back. We'll see if I can find... Well, there's this one. Okay, so this is the one that I played, but again, I played it solo, so I don't know if there's a difference with multiplayer. But what you're doing is you have a card. This is just like Welcome to, right? So you have a card and then a symbol of some sort. So you will pick the number and then you'll pick where it's going to go. So this is activity, so this is going to go in this row here. And then just like in Welcome to, you want the numbers to be ascending. So this 5, you can place it here, and then you just got to make sure they put stuff less than that. For this one, it says you won't perform any action. None of the 6 actions has any effect, so it kind of tells you what it's doing. Then you have the water one up here. You have the energy one down here. And then you have these kind of interesting rooms that you can see here that they're split up. And those are like a reset kind of thing. So you could put another 4 here and then a 5 here. And then you get these little rockets that get crossed off here, which is going to be your victory points at the end of the game. And then you might get these setbacks at some point, which are going to take away points from you. So again, this is just kind of the very first scenario of Welcome to the Moon. It is a campaign-based game, so once you finish this one, you go on to the next level. It introduces a few more rules than what is on here, and so on and so forth. You just continue playing. So again, I just want to check it out just to see how different it was, if it was much different. And of course, the first scenario they're going to do is not going to be very different because I'm sure they're trying to walk you through the campaign. But yeah, that's Welcome to the Moon. I'll probably continue the campaign, seeing that it's here on Board Game Arena, and just see what it does. I really like the base game. I know Joe over at Board Games for Two. I know him and Shelby completed the campaign and they enjoyed it, so I'll give it a shot. All right, I played some Point Salad. I like this game. I think this is a fun one. It's so simple. You have this tableau of cards. The top row is how you score points, and then these bottom 2 rows are vegetables that you can get from the market. So you can either get 1 scoring card or 2 vegetables. That person took 2 vegetables. Now the 2 scoring cards on the top, they flip over, because if you notice on the corner of all these cards, there is a vegetable, and that's what's on the back of that card. So for this one, whoever has the most pieces of lettuce will get 10 victory points at the end of the game. For every set of lettuce, carrots, and onions you have, you'll get 8 points. veggie, 3 types with at least 2. So if you have 2 onions, 2 bell peppers, 2 carrots, you'll get 3 victory points. This is literally just getting as many points as you can in any way that you can. It's a point salad. That's all it is. And I really like it. I think it's done really well. Its predecessor, the next game that came out after this one was the oh man, I just lost it. Point City. Yeah, it was Point City. I got to play that one. It's this exact same mechanics, but just a little bit heavier. Uh, but I don't know. This one's really fun. I actually got to play this one um, with my students as well because I've got the hard copy at school. And then, I just liked it so much, I continued to play it on BGA and just had a blast with it. So, plays really quickly. Again, nothing super serious. You can be as strategic as you want with it um, and just kind of go from there. So, I think it's a really good one. Played some Captain Flip. Captain Flip's another little silly game that I've enjoyed playing. Uh, you are just drawing tiles from a bag, obviously no bag here, and then you're placing them on your map. So each one of these, they have different scoring mechanisms or scoring conditions. That card, the tile that he had originally, was if it's the highest one, if there's nothing above it, it would score 4 victory points. But he decided to flip it to its backside. Now, once you flip a tile, you cannot flip it back over. So the game ends once somebody has completed 4 columns or they have 3 gunners on their board. So it gives you this kind of push your luck um, style game to where it's, do I want to flip this over, possibly get a gunner like that, that I have to then place on my board. And I think that's the same person. Let's see. Yeah, so now they have 2